Well, hello everybody and welcome to the Crafty Maven Getaway channel, and this is Stash It Monday. My name is Julie and my channel is called Spend Less Craft More, and I love Stash It Monday because I do love getting stuck into my stash and using up some of those older products. You would have seen the inspiration piece that we're using at the beginning of the video. I started off by being inspired by the pink and the green, and then I kind of went to the pink and the teal, and my main inspiration ended up being there's one little picture which is, it says it's July in a kind of tealy colour and a scattering of sort of yellow and pink, I guess confetti, and that's what I ended up going with, the idea of scattering things across the page. I tend to get a bit stuck sometimes on just matting a photo and squares and visual triangles. I almost always have a visual triangle, so in this layout I try and do more of a scattered thing, and I end up, you can see me now, I'm cutting out a whole lot of circles from those bits of paper. Yeah, so I'm going to do, you'll see I'm doing a diagonal line with my circles, and then a tiny little cluster top left and bottom right corners. That's some creative memories, I think is the right one. Circle cutters that I got a long time ago. I've got no idea whether they still sell those or not. I had a friend who was a consultant, that's the right word, for a short period of time. And when she decided she didn't have time to do it, she let everyone she knew that was into paper crafts just get her discount. So yeah, that's when I got those. So I've had them for a long time, and they're great when you've just got little bits and pieces to cut from without having to worry about getting out the silhouette. And I certainly am not good at freehand cutting. So that's what I'm doing there. Now this, the stash that I'm actually working with, probably about 6 months ago now, maybe even 7 months ago now, might even be the first video that I ever did on my channel. I made a kit. Actually, I'll tell you about the kit in a minute. So I decided to do some stamping. These stamps, I got them from Scrapbook Boutique here in Australia, and this is the first time I'm actually using them, and as soon as I start using them I'm just kicking myself that I haven't used them before. I don't know how clearly you can see, but they're called Stitch Circles, and they're just gorgeous. There is no way, I mean, I can sew, I love sewing, and I love sewing on my pages, but there's no way you're going to get the stitching like that in such beautiful circles or as quickly as this. So I'll totally be using these stamps again. Yeah, I guess they've been sitting with the kit, and maybe that's why I've forgotten to use them. But anyway, back to the kit. So I kind of, I don't know if I invented a concept, but I came up with the concept of taking a collection and expanding it with other supplies. So what I did is I got a collection called Free Spirit from Cocoa Vanilla, which wasn't brand new when I did it 6 months ago. It was maybe a year old then. And I just basically went through my stash and found other product that kind of matched the colors and the tone and the feel. There was the sort of florals and watercolors and lots of prettiness. So I yeah, probably at least doubled the size of that, what I had of that collection, which was the paper pack. There was alphabet stickers in that pack, and yeah, another sheet of stickers, and then I also had the embellishment pack. So that's what I had from the original Free Spirit collection, and then I added a bunch of product from my stash. Yeah, so like I said, if you wanted to go back and have a look at how I made that kit, that's on my channel, and there'll be links down below to show you how to get there. So I haven't actually used that kit for a while, so it was really great to get it out and play with it. Yeah, so back to what I'm doing. So now I've made my kind of line of where I want my embellishments to go. So I'm just playing around with where I want my circles, and thinking about maybe matting my photo a little bit. Now this is probably something that isn't new to any of you, but if you want to mat a photo on a 6-inch paper, sometimes the easiest way to do it is just to trim your photo down a tiny bit, and then it fits perfectly. And in the end I decide rather than another square or rectangular mat, I'm going to go with another bigger circle this time of that lovely teal colour. Yep, so I think I'm just going to cut Yep, so I'm going to cut some littler circles this time from that paper, and in a minute I'm going to decide that I do want to do some more stamping. So there was another stamp set that I put into that kit. It's from Alter New, and it's called, I think it's called Watercolor Wonders. There we go, and that I was just showing you that I was trying the colors out on the back of my cardstock just to test. So in an ideal world, of course, with these layered stamps like Alter New have got, you can buy, I guess, sets of colors that automatically, you know, will blend and look beautiful together. But if you're like me, you just play around with the stamps, stamp pads that you've got, and I managed to find 3 different colors there. 2 are a pigment from a big, I think they're called color box. There's 12 in a big set, and the other one's a chalk ink, but you know, for this purposes it really doesn't matter if they're not the same ink. If you haven't used these layered stamps before, you can see to the left there I've got the packaging, and basically what it's got on there, often I don't keep my packaging, but I certainly will be keeping this one because it shows you the order to put the stamps down, and it shows you sort of some little guidelines so that you can match the layers up appropriately. Probably with some stamps it works better than it's more important than with other stamps to get it exactly right. With these ones you don't have to get it too perfect, it's still going to look like a flower. So yep, right now I'm just deciding what other places that I want to put those stamps in. Again, I'm glad that I got these stamps out. I had a lot of fun playing with them when I first had this kit going. I made quite a few pages using these stamped flowers. I don't think I have any process videos. I wasn't up to doing process videos back then, but my blog is linked down below. You can certainly go back and have a look if you wanted to see any other pages that I made with this kit. Now, in terms of the kit, there's really, it's quite a, I guess, a more pastel sort of themed sort of colours. I put some quite pastel things in and some brighter things to match the sort of slightly brighter parts of the collection. So in terms of papers, there's actually nothing of the papers from the actual Cocoa Vanilla Free Spirit on this page. The only things that are actually Free Spirit, you'll see a little bit later, a few of the little embellishments, perhaps all the bought embellishments, well, all the flat ones from the embellishment kit I think are from Cocoa Vanilla. There's some butterflies, I think they're the mistable butterflies, but I haven't misted them, and there's some buttons, which are probably the only thing not from the kit itself was the buttons. But then what I tend to do is I don't pull out a whole bunch of buttons. I do a kind of like a mood board sometimes. Like I'll just pull out a few buttons, put them with the kit just to remind me that they're there. So in fact you could argue that everything on this page comes from the kit except for the title, which you'll see soon. It says don't blend in when you were born to stand out, and that is actually a packaging strip from just a paper that I've used in the last couple of weeks, I would say. So I don't think I've told you yet on this video, if you're not already following me, I have been on a 100-page spending freeze this year. Since the start of the year, I'm now up to, this here makes page 85. So I'm doing pretty well, not quite as well as I was hoping to be by the end of this month. I really was hoping to have finished by the end of this month. The June long weekend, which here in Australia is the second weekend of June, I was hoping to have a real good session. In the end, I kind of started quite a few pages without finishing them, so I do have, I think, 6 pages that are at least half finished. They've kind of got the papers and the photos down, and maybe that's not much more. But yeah, I'm hoping maybe this weekend I might have another go. It's start of 2 week school holidays here. The kids are at school today and then they're off for 2 weeks, so sometimes that means I've got lots of time, sometimes that means I don't have that much time. Next week I'm working full time, but perhaps the weekends and the following week might not be so busy. So hopefully I'll get my spending freeze finished, because as you can imagine, it'll be fun to start buying a couple of things again. I am running low on a few things. You might have noticed when I was cleaning my stamps. Here's that heading now, the packaging strip. You might have noticed when I was cleaning my stamps I was using just like a kitchen, like a Chuck's cloth. I have run out of baby wipes, although I'm not going to wait till the spending freeze finishes to buy some of those, because we do use them for other things. They're not just a craft item. I'm very close to finishing my dimensional glue, which I use on my homemade dimensional dots. Yeah, now this is where you can see me going through the embellishments so these ones are all the actual cocoa vanilla ones, and you can see I'm pulling out anything that might work, but in the end most of it ends up being too pastel. Yeah, so I'm just going to go through all those embellishments there for a while. Now if you notice that kind of box, or set of boxes really, that all my kits stored in, I do have another video on my channel of how I store my kits. My kits are all homemade, but certainly you could use the same process for your bought kits if you buy them. Yeah, so I think I'm just about out of things to tell you, so I've chosen a few embellishments and most of those will go back. There's only really, I think, a couple of hearts and little sort of banner pieces and a sticker, pretty much all that will go on. I'll also go through my buttons in a little while and pick some that match, and then I'll go back through with some little rhinestones, the little sort of clear silver ones, and finish off with some splatter. Oh, and the other thing I do is I'll get some of that foam, that's probably it just next to my right hand there, and cut some thin strips to mount up the title that says "Don't blend in when you were born to stand out." I kind of figure needs to stand out. I don't know if you saw, but the photo is also on that foam, so it's mounted up as well. So I don't think I show you all of that. It's a long enough video without showing you me cutting strips of foam and putting tape on the back of that. So I think I'm going to leave you with some music now. So thanks so much for watching. Keep watching, because as you know, the Crafty Maven Getaway channel has different themes on most days of the week, and there's something for everyone pretty much. I'd love you to come and visit me over at my channel, Spend Less, Craft More, as well. Okay, I'll talk to you later.